So congratulations. So who's up for our first presenter?
So how many of you have kids that money just flows like water through their fingers? Well, we have somebody who's going to help you with that little problem. So Karen Tenenbaum, Esquire, founder of Tenenbaum Law, tax attorney. It has Walter the Vault for teaching kids about money. And who better than a tax attorney to teach kids about money? Hi, Karen.
Hi. So it all started when my children, who are now grown and have their own children, were young. And we went into a shoe store, and my daughter Allison asked for a quarter, and I gave her a real quarter. And she put it in one of these vending machines, and out popped a plastic egg with a fake quarter. And she was so excited. She was 5 or 6 years old. And I thought, oh my God, I handle IRS and New York State tax problems on a regular basis, people who are in interesting financial situations. And how do you teach, children about money, the value of money, how to save money, how do you empower them to make good financial decisions? So I initially started a nonprofit organization named Commerce Plaza. It's a place where fifth graders, it's open to all school districts on Long Island, and it's a place where fifth graders can come and run a mock business for the day. It's really an exciting thing to see 11-year-olds, writing out checks and going over to their banker, depositing the money to their 11-year-old friend. And then they go to shop. McDonald's supplied lunch for us for 10 years in a row. And Capital One gives us money every year, every other year. And it's really an exciting thing. I also, because I'm an attorney and a CPA, I was the inaugural chair of the Financial Literacy Committee for the New York State Society of CPAs Nassau chapter. But I said, you know what? This is all great and wonderful. And we came up with resources and family financial literacy fairs, and everything was great and wonderful. But I said, who's teaching the little ones, 3 to 6, 3 to 7? So we came up with Walter the Vault. And I could show you a cute little stuffed animal. For those who are on the radio, you don't get to see it. And I'm Walter, here's words of wisdom. I'm Walter the Vault. I'm friendly and nice. I'm filled up with rhymes and financial advice. Oh. He also has a book. He has a book that goes with this. He has a book that I'm showing right now. And I'll give you another rhyme. Save your nickels, save your dimes, listen well to all my rhymes. And if you do, it's me you'll thank for all the money in your bank. Now, when my grandson, who's now a year old, was born, people gave us porcelain piggy banks. That's the standard gift. I said, you know what? He's going to knock that over and it's going to be falling into 1,000 pieces. So we came up with a plush. And this is the prototype, the sample. It actually sings the words of wisdom. So his name is Walter the Vault. So these songs are on our website, walterthevault.com. And we have a lot of posters and games for the kids. We have this game called Raining Change, where money falls out of the sky and they have to collect the money. And we have a lot of free things, coloring books, where the pencils come up and you could color in the thing right there. Most of it's free, but we also have books. And then, of course, we have, walterthevault.com, as I said, where you could go and do all these fun things. We've been on TV and radio before. We've done family financial literacy fairs at the library. We've been to the Children's Museum, the Long Island Children's Museum, and the kids really love it. And what we see is that parents don't feel comfortable teaching kids about money, and the schools aren't really doing it either.
Really, you've got a lot of different products, and it's very creative. So how did you go about developing these programs? What is your strategic plan for moving this?
So that's a really good question. So we need someone like Larry Namath to get us like a TV show, almost like a Sesame Street or a Barney, where we have a costume of Walter the Vault and he dances around, and we see that kids love him, whether he's singing songs or playing games or even just, throwing around a ball or putting money in a bank. Well, right now we're doing everything online. So we have books, we have curriculum, we have a section for teachers if they want to buy the curriculum. We have a place for parents to learn about how to teach kids about money. And what we see is this conversation should really start when you are out and about with your children. So they understand that you need money to buy something and they have to make choices. And that if they spend their money, it's gone.
So Larry, what would you say to Karen?
everybody thinks that getting a TV show is going to propel their idea and stuff like that. And, you know, I hate to say it, it's a lot more complicated than just having a good idea. You know, you really, you know, to get a TV project, you just look at Shark Tank and, you know, what that's done to propel an idea, you know, into the mainstream and stuff like that. You got to find first and foremost an agent that, you know, is passionate about your project and who can go in to the TV stations or platforms and do it. It's more than just a good idea. Everybody has a good idea.
I've had an idea for you, Karen. Have you ever thought of animating the character? So creating like more of an animation. So instead of him being like dressed up as a plush character, like animating him and then maybe creating some sort of like YouTube series where it's cartoon-like and kids, because I felt like when I was a kid, I learned a lot through cartoons, and you're giving really valuable information and creating a fun way for them to learn. So you could do something on YouTube that's more animated, and that's kind of like your pilot for transitioning to a bigger platform.
That's a great idea. And I do think your idea is fantastic, and people should know about it. And it is very visual. I think YouTube is a fantastic idea for starting out. What do you think about starting on YouTube, Larry?
Well, that's good. And, you know, I think, you know, the whole thing of animation, there are now programs that you don't have to be like a trained animator to do. You could come up with little things that kind of show your concept. You know, I find the hardest thing to do with people, you know, particularly people who are the business side in the media and entertainment, is as soon as you start off with the sentence, well, just imagine, that's it. You've lost them because they can't imagine. When you're pitching something that's going to be in a visual medium, you have to have visual presentation, because typically they can't relate to what you're doing. So you show them how cute the characters are and how they can move. And then it's easier for them to say, okay, if we poured some money in here and we brought in professional animators and stuff, we can see where this can go. But you really need to do that. You got to get started, and you got to do, you know, it's like in a business, doing proof of concept.
When somebody is, you know, so many companies are presented with so many of these, you know, so many ideas, right? What could Karen do to maybe help her stand out or make it more attractive versus the competition?
Well, I think, you know, looking at what you're doing, I think everybody now, you know, brands are who particularly are, you know, doing stuff to market to, you know, young folks. Young folks are very, very interested in causes and environment and stuff like that. And it's the relationship of the brand to these good causes, which actually influences a lot of the purchase decisions. So I would find, you know, a sponsor, a company that wanted to, you know, really start building that kind of image. And because what she's doing is a noble purpose. I mean, you know, particularly, you know, not just, you know, kids in the suburbs, but kids in inner cities need this kind of education desperately. And, you know, to really come up with a program that service those things, which is highly visible. You could show that you got an audience. You could show that it's multicultural, multi-denominational, you know, it appeals to everybody who's got a kid, needs to have their kid begin to understand those. So you could really begin to prove out the broad range of interest in the subject matter. So I would look for a sponsor that could help offset some of the costs.
I love it. Thank you. So my goal would really be that every single night when the kids brush their teeth and read a book with their parents, that they say, "Oh, Mommy, Daddy, do you have any change?" And then put them in Walter.
Okay.
You know, that we have a slot on the top and he could save his money.
It sounds like you need to animate or videotape that. Right?
I like that. Yep.
Yeah, so we're coming to the end of our segment, but this has been excellent. And, you know, Kenya and Larry, great ideas. I hope you get some value out of that.
Karen, where can people find out more about your project?
So you could go to walterthevault.com to learn more about Walter. And if you want help with the tax matter, you can go to litaxattorney.com. And again, I'm Karen Tenenbaum.
Excellent. So Karen knows
Thank
what
you.
she's talking about. She knows money. So you are listening to Passage to Profit, the Inventor Show on WOR 710, the Voice of New York, with our special guest, Larry Namer, the inventor